everyone, it's me, Natalie, and I am here to answer 52 nifty questions about books. Thanks to Sean, the book maniac, who tagged me. And as everybody will know by now, Stripped Cover Lit are the original creators of the tag. So I've watched a couple of people's answers and I'm very aware that my knowledge base is this big compared to everybody else's. But hey, let's just give it a whirl. Why not? Okay, let's go. What book am I reading right now? I prepared for this answer. No, for none of the others. I'm reading The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart. Wonderful. I'm reading The Makioka Sisters. Wonderful. I'm reading Nevermore with my boys. Wonderful. And I'm reading Death Wears a Mask, which is the second in the Amory Aim series, which is even more wonderful. Yeah, I'm in the middle of 4 and they're all fun. I'm having a great reading week. What was the last thing you highlighted? I don't use highlighters. Probably the last thing I highlighted was some stupid document in a boring office job I used to have. And because of that, I never want to use a highlighter ever again. Never again. What do I plan to read next? I have Song of Achilles and Pachinko sitting there waiting for me to finish these books before I start them. So that's what I plan to read next and I'm excited. I've got some good things lined up, huh? A fiction writer that I want to grab a drink with. I would probably like to grab a drink with Inga Simpson. She's an Australian writer who I love, who writes fantastic nature books. I want to buy her a drink and say thank you for her writing, and also thank you for sparking something inside of me. Ever since I read her first book, I have been completely interested in all things trees, and that makes me happy now. So yeah, I'd buy her a drink to thank her. Maybe even a couple. A non-fiction writer that I want to grab a drink with. Annabelle Crabb. She's an Australian journalist, a political journalist, but she also writes cookbooks and she also writes sort of discussion pieces for different papers and things like that. She's got a great book, and I'll have to link it below, about the role of a wife within the home and why, you know, how that's evolved. She also wears fabulous dresses that I think we could go dancing and drinking together, and I just want to talk to her. She has an amazing way with words. Please look her up if you've never seen her. I feel like if we grabbed a drink together, I'd have so much fun, but also have great discussions and learn a lot as well. So yeah, that's what I need in a drinking buddy, right? Yeah. A poet. I don't know. My friend's a poet. He lives in Cairns. I'd like to grab a drink with him. I don't read poetry. Should I? I should. I watched Matthew Sarapa's chat about people who say they don't understand poetry, and that kind of hit home to me. That was pretty interesting. It kind of made me want to pick something up. But I'm going to have a drink with my friend Dave. Okay, and then we have all of these questions about this person or that person. So Emily Dickinson or Edgar Allan Poe, never read. Hemingway or Fitzgerald? Have I read any of those? Anyway, can't pick. Austen or Dickens? I've only read Austen. I'm interested in Charles Dickens, but like, no. Harris or Hitchens? I had a book called Catch-22. Is that Christopher Hitchens? Is that who we're talking about? Got nothing. Stephen King or Michael Crichton? Neither. Those genres, not for me. Bret Easton Ellis or Chuck Palahniuk? What is it? Palahniuk? What the hell is that name? Are these American classic authors? I don't know. Kurt Vonnegut, John Green, don't know. Shakespeare's poems or plays? Never read a poem, so plays it is. Adrian Fort or Dalton Gentry? No idea who these people are. Cormac McCarthy or J.K. Rowling? Well, I know J.K. Rowling because my son has read Harry Potter. I don't know Cormac McCarthy. I got nothing again. Hannibal Lecter or Voldemort? I mean, they're both pretty gross by all accounts though, but that scared the pants off me, that Silence of the Lamb, from that amazing performance of Hannibal Lecter, so I guess him. Boyle or George Saunders? Never read either. So I'm a bit dodgy for those questions, sorry. Is this all classic American literature that I've missed out on? Do I need to go back and check out who these people are? Maybe if you really feel strongly that I don't know who some of these people are, let me know and I'll take it up as a personal challenge. I could probably have done some research about that. No, really. Sorry, no idea. Okay. Good writing or good story? Good writing. If the writing's terrible, I can't get into it, so I'm never going to discover the good story in the first place. YA or children's lit? Is children's lit storybooks? What's children's lit? I remember Robert from Barterhood saying it's the same thing. It's, you know, I read books to my kids because I enjoy their faces when something fun happens in the book, but for me, I wouldn't pick up anything if I didn't have children. And YA is an interesting genre for me. Doris from Aldi Books just recommended on her, her video just gone. What was that video? I think it might have been her Monday check-in video. There was a YA fantasy she just finished, and it was the first time that I'd ever gone, I might pick that up. So yeah, YA is a bit of a mystery to me, but there's so many books to read. Oh my gosh. Irony or humor? Yeah, every time I hear the word irony, I think of that scene in Reality Bites. Remember that great 90s movie? Was it 90s? 80s. With Winona Ryder, and she's asked in the job interview to define irony, and she can't do it. And then she goes back to her housemate, and he just rattles it off and makes her feel really bad about herself. Anyway, irony or humor. Robert from Barterhoods, again, he said that they were the same thing, and I think they are too. But irony kind of makes me think a bit more, I guess. Sci-fi or horror? Nick. Neither, thank you. Fantasy or non-fiction? Non-fiction, clear winner. Rather find a new favourite contemporary writer or a new favourite old-time great? I mean, anytime you find a new favourite, it's awesome, isn't it? I mean, you get to read the backlist. You get to discover them again. It's like when someone comes to you after you've read all of the author's works and you're at the end of it, and they come to you and they say, oh, have you heard about this book by Sophie Laguna? And you are so excited that they have discovered Sophie Laguna, but at the same time you're a little bit envious because you think, oh, they have so many books ahead of them to explore her amazing writing. Like, I'm done with it. Yeah, I love finding new authors and reading their backlists. And I get very sad when I get to the end of that list, which doesn't happen very often because there's so many books flying around. Sonnet or haiku? Most famous haiku. Ah, yes, it's Japanese poetry. In the Makioka sisters, I've been reading, they write these little poems to their sister that's away. Can you see that? Like, the clouds are passing, the pines reach out for the moon. And then the night of the full moon, here, one shadow is missing. It's about telling her that she misses her. The moon tonight, Yukiko sees it in Tokyo. Ah! I've been reading haikus and I didn't even know. Well, because I'm reading it. Haikus over sonnets, for sure. Sestina or Villanelle? What the hell is that? A Villanelle is a 19-line poem. Okay. A Sestina is a 6-line poem. Well, because I don't read poetry, maybe I need more lines to work out what the hell's going on. So let's run with a Villanelle. Spend the evening at a library or a bookstore? Ooh, tough one. My library's a really important place to me, but if I had a little black Amex card at a bookstore, I'm there all night. I'm gonna say bookstore. This is what would happen. I would go to the bookstore with 4 of my favorite booktube friends, and there would be this whole platter of cake and this gorgeous array of teapots with beautiful teacups, and we would eat cake and drink tea and just look through every single book that's there. But it would have to be a double-story bookstore, and it would have to be a mixture of new and used. What a great night. Do we need champagne? Maybe we need some champagne too. Okay, where are we? I have so many more to go. Magazine or Wikipedia. Magazines are gorgeous. If I had lots of money, I would subscribe to a lot of different magazines. I find them in the op shops, like the old, I don't need them to be brand new editions. So yeah, magazines for sure. I think there's a great art in creating a magazine. I love it. Dictionary, not an encyclopedia. I like discovering new words. Not that I remember any of them, to use them wisely, but I don't highlight my books. I do write in them sometimes, but I have my reading journal now. Here, I'll get it for you. This is my reading journal that I made from an old book, The Age of Reason. I don't know, but I liked the colours. And I just kind of pulled out pages and stuck other pages in, and yeah, and just stuck things in and made little spaces for loveliness to be written down. And so I write, as I'm reading, I write all the questions, or I read Where the Trees Were and Now I Want to Go to Canberra and cycle around the lake. And in the Makioka sisters, they described their cherry blossom visit schedule in Kyoto, and so I just wrote down all those different places to see whether they actually exist, and then I just write down, yeah, the things I love, the questions I have, all the question marks there. I just want to fill it up with all my thoughts as I read, because I have so many as I read, so I don't need to write in my books or highlight my books anymore because I have this. Yeah, there you go, little sideline there. Where are we up to? Earliest memory of a library was my school library, but then my friends and I used to catch the train an hour to Brisbane, which is the capital city of the state we live in, and we used to go to the state library there and rifle through the collections and just sit in there and buy Turkish delight on the way and have a wonderful time. So yeah, that was the beginning of being able to relax and enjoy a library space, which anytime I go to a new town, we went traveling for 2 years, and anytime we would go into a new town, I would absolutely visit the library as one of the first things I did. I would find somewhere nice to eat and I would visit the library. So yeah, I love libraries, and the last time I went to them was 2 days ago with my kids. I'm always there, always. Have I ever accidentally stolen a book from the library? No way. No. I'm very vigilant about returning. If I did, I don't remember, but I would hope that I never did. Other people want to read them too. Yes. Ballpark, how many books do I own? I don't know. Right now we're in between houses, so I have books in a container and I have books in plastic tubs. I don't know, a couple of hundred, I guess. I've been chatting with Doris from Aldi Books about the first year of BookTube and how you collect books. I'm in the collecting phase right now, so I'm sure that will grow and that will come up and down. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I'm definitely a collector of books right now. How many books do you think would make for a reasonable personal library? It's up to you, man. For me, I would love a room that has all of the walls, like Steve's room that he films in, to be surrounded by books. But then I also feel like I share a lot, so I give away a lot of books if I like them. So yeah, I don't know. That's whatever makes you happy at the time. It doesn't matter. These are pretty crap answers, sorry. So there's Sense and Sensibilities and Sea Monsters, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. How do I feel about that phenomenon? I'm confused. So are these horror books adapted from classics? Maybe those, I feel like those people probably should get their own ideas. Do we need to turn Pride and Prejudice into a zombie fest? I don't know, that confuses me. That's it. How do I feel about it? I'm confused. Horror trope you would like to see get more love? I don't know. Something I think it's underutilized in sci-fi? These clearly are not questions for me. Flash fiction. Form of and format of literature, or just a short story, dummy? What the hell's flash fiction? Back to Google search. Thing of only a few hundred words. This is the thing. I can't do short stories because I don't feel like they've been fleshed out enough. Like, I need more from a short story. So flash fiction for me would just not work at all, because that's even shorter than a short story. It doesn't, It doesn't tickle my fancy. So I cannot have opinion on question 42. If you could own one book from all of history, what would it be? Right now, there's many books I want to own. I don't need to put books on a shelf and admire them. I need to read them. I need to get my hands dirty. And I lean towards used books because I think they have more of a soul about them because somebody else has read them and injected their energy into them. And yeah, I like that. I don't need the fancy, pretty ones. I like them rough around the edges. Audiobooks, the same as reading. No, that's not reading, that's listening, no? Like when we get to just down to how it is, it's listening. So you can't call it reading. But I don't object at all to someone not having experienced the book just because they listened to it rather than read it. Audiobooks are a funny thing for me because I like to create the idea of the character in my head or the character's voice or how they would speak or the intonation of, you know, when they say something, their intonation and all that sort of stuff. So for me, audiobooks take that delight away from me, which is why I don't get into them, but go your hardest, I don't care. But essentially, reading is using your eyes and listening is using your ears, right? Anyway, doesn't really matter in the end. Most literary songwriter of your lifetime, Paul Kelly. Please, all of you people that have never heard of Paul Kelly, find him and listen to his songs. He's a absolute legend in Australia. He wrote a song called How to Make Gravy, which is just a total classic. Every Australian knows that song. But the way he uses words, the way he uses imagery in a song is unbelievable. Oh, he did this fantastic show that was A to Z of all of the songs he's ever written. And Paul Kelly's been around since the 80s. He's just a total legend. And he writes in there how the song came about and a lot of it, yeah, a lot of his references and all those sorts of things. It's beautiful, beautiful words. He's a fantastic songwriter. Look him up. Do it. If you don't listen to any other Australian music, you must listen to Paul Kelly. There's my hot tip for the day. What writer embarrasses you the most? You haven't read them. I mean, there's lots of classics I haven't read, but I'm not embarrassed by that. I just think that I should. Yeah, I don't think embarrassed is the right word. Yeah. What writer embarrassed? Because I've read too much. I don't know. I don't need to be embarrassed by what I read. I need to just enjoy it. And if somebody else makes me feel embarrassed, if somebody else projects something on me because I've read a certain book and I enjoyed it, then that's kind of up to them. I think we're all in this game to just run our own race, right? What biography are you looking forward to reading? Michelle Obama. I have it. It's sitting there. But here we go. I would like to listen to Michelle Obama read that book. And maybe that's where I can start with audiobooks, is because it's her autobiography and it's actually something, you know, it's her voice that I'm reading anyway. Okay, there's an idea. I mustn't forget that. That's a great idea. Do I have a dream reading cubby? What's a reading cubby? Is that a place to read? What's a reading cubby? Oh, I feel a Pinterest rabbit hole coming on. Oh my gosh. I need to spend some time on reading cubbies in Pinterest. There's lots of window seats in a reading cubby, isn't there? Into them. I need it. Oh, look at that one. It's got a huge, yeah. I've always wanted to have, and Charlotte from Tide Mama Tries to Read has sort of shelves above doorways with books on them. I just want books to cover every wall in my house. But these reading cubbies rock. Yeah, I need to do some Pinterest playing. I'll be back in a minute. Right, that was a half an hour of my life. I'm never going to get back. So my dream reading cubby would have somewhere where I can lie down on it. It would have like a tea making facility for sure. I would be surrounded by timber shells that I could smell the slabs of the trees that it came from. Yeah, there's lots you could do with a reading cubby. Wait till my husband gets home and I explain to him my plans for our new house. Okay, last literary phenomenon that really got my gears grinding. You know what it was? It was the glorification of true crime figures. So we had this whole moment in Australia was like Underbelly, and then there was this bikie gang, and then there were these surfing gang, and there were all these kind of really bad dudes that wrote these sort of tell-it-all books, and then they became miniseries and documentaries and all that. So I think we don't need to glorify bad dudes. We, you know, like, who cares what they did? The fact that they did them should make you want to vomit, and, you know, not let them make millions of dollars out of killing people and being dicks. Yeah, my gears are grinding over that. I didn't even realize that was in me. What was the last piece of literature that changed the way I read? Victober, when I read Thomas Hardy. When I first opened Far From a Madding Crowd, I was so out of my depth and so worried, and I kind of allowed myself to chill out, just take it in and just take it one page at a time, and not worry that I don't know what all these people are saying exactly, and I don't know what all those words mean exactly. And I had the dictionary app and I was looking up every second word, and it was driving me bonkers. And yeah, so that Thomas Hardy experience really taught me to chill out with my reading and not be too worried about taking it all so seriously. So that would probably be, it was a really great lesson, and now I have this joy of reading classics now because I know that I can just approach them with ease rather than this stress and tension of, am I going to understand this? So yeah, that one. What booktuber have you been watching the most recently? That's the last question. Oh gosh, there's heaps. You can't just say them all. If you take this question as the one I just watched, that was Steve doing his Evita tag, which was delightful. Right, whew, my goodness, that's a lot of questions. Were they nifty? I think they were meant to be fast paced, but for me, I just yabble on. Sorry if this is going to be a super long video. Sorry if I don't know who any of those obviously famous authors are. I hope I didn't waste the last 20 minutes of your life. Righto. Thank you for tagging me, Sean. I will try and do better next time. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you later on. Bye.